On today's news, we're going to talk about Sphelele Mkhulisa. We're going to talk about Itumeleng Khune saying things about Kaizer Chiefs. We're going to look at players who are potentially getting their contract extended, and the other one who just came back, and then this other one who is leaving, and I'm sure that you'd be happy about that. Hello and welcome to Khosi Nation Fan TV. I am Pelo, I am your host, and this is where fans meet and talk about Kaizer Chiefs. Khosi Football Club. So let's start this thing with the first one, which is the injuries that are there at Kaizer Chiefs, and the latest one, which made Msimango miss the game that we played against Chippa United, is apparently not an injury that is forcing him out, but it's more of a precaution that they took, which then makes me think that means Ucele was not injured that much on Saturday. But to me, it still felt like he was injured because he didn't do the things that he usually does. And I know some people will say he's regressing. He's not regressing. He's just more careful because I'm sure he wants to play in the final and also wants to play on the third for the derby. But I then thought to myself, a few weeks ago we're told that Uzwane got injured mysteriously. We know Ublom, since he came back to Chiefs, he has looked heavy ever since he came back. Happy Mashiane played a game or two. All of a sudden we see him is wearing a moon boot. Duba just came back from an injury. Ranga, he just got injured. I know you don't care much about Ranga getting injured. But there are way too many injuries happening at Kaizer Chiefs, and we complained about this last year. Uguti players are getting injured, and it's not like we play all the time. So what's injuring these players? What is it that is wrong with the conditioning? Because it's not like if a player like Miguel gets injured, he's been playing the entire season. I understand that. But you have Abos BC who have played every competition, playing in Africa, playing here in the PSL, playing in the MTNA, playing in the Carling Cup, playing everything, right? But they're still there, they're fit. Yet Abe Chiefs, they're not playing as much as Pirates and Sundowns, but we are the ones who are losing players at an even a lot more higher rate. It makes no sense. So it's just a thing that I'm going to put a pin on and revisit if I see that these players are continuing to get injured, because we need to address things if we see that problems are coming up. Which also brings us to Fiston Maele. So apparently Fiston Maele, maybe we've talked about this even before. Apparently Fiston Maele was offered to Kaizer Chiefs back before Nabi came to Chiefs, and that was for 10 million, and Abopo were like, nah, we don't want Maele, just keep him. So yeah, now they might pay that million to get him, but we're not there because we moved to Uputilo. Who's this guy? What's his name? Sphelele Mkhulisa. So Mkhulisa rather is wanted by Kaizer Chiefs. This is known now. And his contract with Sundowns, as we've talked before, ends this June, but Sundowns have an option to trigger the contract, to extend it by a further year. But they have not done that. However, even though they've not triggered their option to extend, apparently there's a negotiation for him, right, for him to stay long at Sundowns beyond the extension, the option that Sundowns have to make him stay for a further year. But now, according to this report, I think it was Laduma who was saying this, they are saying that he wants to be given a guarantee that he's going to play, otherwise he's not going to stay, which means Sundowns will just keep him because they won't guarantee him a place, because in his positions you have Debo Homkwena, you have Batus Aupas. Second position that he can play, there is Alende, there is Jaden Adams. On top of that, Jaden Adams can also compete with Umshishi for the same position. So Mkhulisa really is not going to. He's there, like he's a reserve of one of those people, if But as it stands, he's not really a person that they go to immediately. So I think that in not wanting Chiefs to get what they want, they will just trigger his contract and make sure he stays, because he's still talking to them. He's negotiating. The report is saying that disagreements is over the length and financial terms of the contract. So that is the thing. He wants more money. So if he was to stay at Sundowns, he wants more money. And better believe if Sundowns is offering him 200,000 or 100,000, Chiefs will double that. I'm not boasting Malia Chiefs. I'm just saying I know good. If Chiefs knows that the problem is money, they will just go get him. But here Sundowns will still keep the player, right? So we know that. And also, if this does not happen, the report also continues to say that then he might just leave Mamelodi Sundowns. So we will wait and see. But do you guys think that he will make an ideal addition to the Kaizer Chiefs squad? You can let me know in the comments and subscribe while we edit. And we move on to the next story, which is Itumeleng Khune. Itumeleng Khune just didn't hold back. He's just said things about Bruce Bvuma which made me go, okay, there are things that I can say because I don't have a relationship with the guy. Also, even though I'm not being harsh, or it might sound harsh what I say, but it was never my colleague, so I would never speak like that. Like, imagine saying Bongani and say, hey, Bongani this, Bongani that. He's my colleague. You know, so I can't just start shooting at them and say, oh, they're horrible and this. Because he's saying that he went to the national team, right? And people were saying, oh, who's going to be your successor? I was like, Ronwen Williams is going to be my successor. Kaizer Chiefs, Bruce Bvuma is going to be my successor. So he says the advice that he gave to Ronwen Williams, which he also gave to Bruce Bvuma, is, listen, dude, we're not here to make friends. So you make me better, I make you better. So basically saying, let's compete and stop being, oh, I support Khune, he's the best ever, but try to compete and take me off my throne. But it's like with Bvuma, he didn't take that advice seemingly, and now he's struggling. Like if you read that quote, guys, it's just too brutal. I just don't understand the way that the words that are said in that article. I'm like, dude, you know that you played with this person and you are still considered as a Kaizer Chiefs legend. And I feel like at this point, Khune is hurt by Kaizer Chiefs. And now he can attack Chiefs, because if we're being honest, he's right about Bvuma. Bvuma does not look like he learned anything from Khune. He still is miles behind Khune, right? He's just miles behind Khune. There is nothing that you look at and you're like, okay, he's learned this from Khune. Because even in distribution, which is something that Khune was very good at, you look at Bvuma, you're like, no, it's not there. You know, it's just not there. But the way now Khune is ripping him apart, man, it doesn't sound right. And he continues to say that, oh, yeah, Chiefs definitely need a goalkeeper who's going to play all the games, because now Chiefs have basically used up all their goalkeepers. Which is right, because Chiefs do need a person who's going to play all the games. But I feel like there are things that you can say if you're a legend, and there are things that you don't say. Or even there are ways that you can say things, right? Like, okay, I think that Bruce right now, the problem that he has is a problem with confidence, and it's difficult to do such things if you're playing in a club like Kaizer Chiefs. I used to tell him that, you know, he must compete and make me better, but I do feel as though that Bruce, for the most part, was just there knowing that I'm there as a number one goalkeeper. And I think that he was never prepared to become the main goalkeeper, because I was always there and he never wanted to compete with me in that type of a thing. Not to say he didn't take my advice, now he's struggling, now he's inconsistent. That just sounds wrong. That just sounds wrong. It sounds wrong. I'm just gonna say it and leave it there. It sounds like you are Peter Uti, you know, or you think that you are still better than him, yet he's playing nonsense. But when you are there without a contract, because Khune pretended as if there's gonna, the way he spoke as if there was a club that was going to get him, because he said, if Chiefs don't give me an extension, I'm going to, what did he say? I'm still going to play. Is he playing? He's not playing. Even Ushabalala, to this day, Ushabalala is not retired. He is never announced that he's officially retired. No, Khune is doing the same thing. He hasn't retired, but there's just time to hang it up, guys. Like, you are legends, don't force it. Just move on. It's okay. We appreciate you and all that stuff. The person that is not appreciated, because he's been retained by Richards Bay. This is according to FIFA Post. They are saying that he's been retained, and he's not the only one, because they've done the same thing with Usibanyoni. I think Sibanyoni is with Sundowns and is now been loaned to Mutsepe Foundation. Ntwari is going to France, apparently, because, well, you know, his coach said that. His coach of the national team said there's a team from France that inquired about him. So don't be surprised if that ends up happening. And there's far post as well. Diski Times are saying that Uri Frosler is going to get a 3-year contract extension. And I'm not even sure how I feel about that, because I don't think Frosler wants to improve or be better. So maybe that money would be better spent elsewhere. I'm just thinking. What do you guys think? Do let me know down on the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, remember, equals Pelumoya.